Hi again. It's still Monday, so it's still happy Monday, but this is going to get posted on Tuesday, so happy Tuesday for when you see this. So yeah, like I said, if you watched the previous Facebook Live, I'm doing this from a Catholic cemetery just because I like peace and quiet, and I'm enjoying a sunny afternoon in the cemetery for some peace and quiet and some grace and angels, which is always a good thing. You can never get enough of those. So the other question that I've had that I've been trying to get to is involving how to deal with stress management and having pain that is essentially causing pain in your physical body. So again, I need to just keep this short because I realize that a 13-minute Facebook Live, I'm not entirely sure how many people actually would watch to the end of a 13-minute Facebook Live, but at the same time, I simply cannot speak in sound bites. I know that people usually only have like a 2-minute concentration, and I simply can't give you enough information in 2 minutes. So I'll do my best with what I have got. And then further than that, you're free to contact me via email at info@salialife.com or via private message to arrange a private consult. And we can get into a little bit more depth in that. But in the interim, on the surface of the question, there is an understanding in yoga. And in fact, it's not only yoga, it's all Asian medicine, all traditional medicine. So whether it's Chinese traditional medicine or Thai or the Japanese approach or yoga and Ayurveda, there's a clear understanding across Asia that our emotions are stored in the physical body. So any kind of pain that we start having, whether it's headaches and back pain, are two of the things that are very, very common, especially lower back pain. So there is a clear understanding that physical pain is a manifestation of basically mental and emotional discomfort that hasn't been addressed, or unnecessary tension and stress that's held in the body that hasn't been addressed, that then starts causing physical pain. So there are various practices that it's not necessarily complicated. It can be easily addressed, but there's a few things that need to be specific to the person. So in the previous Facebook Live, I mentioned within Ayurveda there is something called a dosha, which is your physical constitution. There is something very similar in traditional Chinese medicine that has to do with the makeup of your physical body. So when I mean the makeup of your physical body, for example, some people have more of like a spaghetti kind of body, right? The thin, skinny kind of body. Other people tend to be more wide set, so they're very strong muscles, almost like a square structure. And then something in between is like the pear-shaped body for us, right? There's also things to do with the temperature of your body, so whether you run more hot or whether you tend to run more cool. So all of these things do have an influence in terms of how you process mental stress and how you process emotional stress. In the West, we generally are not taught about this, so we don't actually realize, and then we end up holding on to it, and by not having the tools to learn how to clear our own emotional state and our own mental anguish, it does then end up causing physical pain. This is why within Asia, like I've seen in almost every video, so I'm sure by now, if you've watched this a number of times, you would know by now, in all the years that I've lived in Asia, which is like almost 16 years, I've never come across one single Asian person that has ever had a knee replacement or a hip replacement. Whereas in the West, it's almost like an epidemic. Like almost every single person over the age of 60 is having knee and hip replacements. So this is an understanding of not asking for, not accepting support. Yeah, so that's just one tiny little example that I can give you of what I'm speaking about. But beyond that, I would say that the best thing to do is to contact me and arrange a private consultation. You can email me at info@salialife.com. I'll put that in the comments below or in the private message. And then we can go from there. It needs to be more of a personalized approach. There simply isn't a blanket statement for how everybody can do this. Even when I do the private retreats, so when I do the teacher training, every single person that is in there has a personalized program that is specific to them, because it has to be integrative, but it has to be specific as well. So I hope that gives you just a little bit of peace of mind in terms of knowing that, yes, you know, I'm not saying that it's psychosomatic, so I'm not, you know, the word psychosomatic in the West, we tend to have this idea that our mind is making up pain that doesn't exist, or our mind is making up things that doesn't exist. It does very much exist. Like, the discomfort does very much exist, whether it's physical pain or mental or emotional anguish. You know, what you're feeling in your body does very much exist, and this does very much need to be addressed. However, the approach that is used from an integrative standpoint is very, very different to just simply medicating it. So I hope that answers your question and just gives you some food for thought. In terms of moving forward, it's very important to have healthy coping strategies, healthy coping mechanisms, which is another thing that I will help you look at if you do contact me, in terms of coming up with strategies that are beneficial for you to not hold on to the things that then cause illness. Great. So I think that's the 2 questions that I've had this week. I'll post them back to back, one today, one tomorrow, and then feel free to send me any more questions during the week. Take care. Bye.